Have you ever tried to copy text out of Microsoft Word or Evernote or even email and it comes out as a bunch of unusable gobbledygook? Have you ever tried a shiny new writing app for maybe a couple weeks or a month, thinking you'll use it forever, but then a couple months later you know that you're not, and then your writing is kind of stuck there and you have trouble getting it out? Writing in Markdown solves this problem. It might look intimidating with hash and asterisk symbols, but I promise you there are only 6 keys that you need to know to be writing like a pro, with the confidence that your best ideas are not trapped in somebody else's program. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's begin. First thing I'm going to do is hit that button, the new note button. And this creates a new note. We can title it at the top. I'm going to paste in the 6 most important keys to typing in Markdown. I'll paste it again in here. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just bold or italic, right? Well, no. Maybe in traditional text editing in Word, we would think bold and we would think italic. But in personal knowledge management, we need to think how to connect ideas. We need to think about how to link your thinking. With that in mind, we've already discovered the most important part of Markdown, which is the link. And that's where we hit bracket, bracket, and then all of a sudden we have this list of our notes. You know, programs like Obsidian are really smart. So if I type NO, these are the notes that remain. And if I hit S, there's an S in Note Star. Then I just have to hit Enter. Boom! Now we have that link. That's pretty wild, right? What's cool about this, if we go back to Graph View, we now see the 6 most important keys to typing in Markdown connected to Note Star, right? That should look familiar by now. So let's go back to this. That is the link. Super powerful. The thing about the link is, it is a strong, direct connection. But that's not the only type of relationship that we can build between ideas, and not the only type that we want to make. The other one, and number 2 when dealing with Markdown, is the tag. So, good example of this is, I'm looking at my note library, and I see a couple concepts in here. So let's try using the tag. Let's use hashtag concept, okay? And I see the adversity paradox, and I'm just going to, at the bottom, just put in concept. And look, it already auto-completed for me. And I also want to put in concept to red pill, blue pill. So at the bottom, I'm just going to hit C and enter. Now we have that. So how does this work? So if I command click on concept, we get to search. We'll cover this in detail in the next video. But you can see right away that those 3 notes give me the results because they have the tag concept in them. We can do all sorts of things with these results, but the most important thing to know right now is that's how tags work. Okay, now we've covered the link, we've covered tags. Now let's get into how to make our text look a little bit prettier, and let's start with italics. So now we're getting into this aspect. And so what happens is italics, typically you want to emphasize something. So as you're typing and you want to emphasize something, you add asterisks. And there you have it. So we can see that we have italics in this section. How did that happen? Markdown reads these asterisks to single asterisks like that to give you italics. Now let's take that to the next level. The number 4 most important key to working in Markdown, you got it. It's bold. So how do we do this? So bold is typically I will use this when I want to bring attention to big nouns. And what do we do to get bold in this case? Double asterisks on both sides, and that gives us big nouns. Excellent. Now, we're almost there. Now we're going to get into the formatting and cover lists. So we've been making a list. Now what does that look like? If I hit dash, hyphen, and space, then I've created a list. And what I'm going to do now is delete, so then I can enter and software like Obsidian is smart enough to know that a list has began. So now when I do this, I'm starting to make my list and it's naturally forming. So now we have formed a really cool list, and that's how it's done. And the sixth and final thing that we want to do to get a handle on Markdown is to understand how to use headers. So let's go through the notes and explore this a little bit. It's actually hashtag, but then you hit a space bar. This gives us that title, and there are 6 levels of this. So let's explore in some of these other notes. Adversity paradox, I usually like to have that here. So I'm going to hit hashtag and then adversity paradox. Doesn't that look pretty nice already? And let's imagine we wanted to hit related here and make this something new. So we hit 3 hashtags and look at that. It's smaller, it's header 3. Header levels go from 1 all the way down to 6. Let's see other examples as we're prettying up our notes. This is the never note. Kind of redundant, but we put it right there. Same thing with note star. See how quickly this can go after a while? I'm going to paste. What I'm doing is I hit the hashtag and boom, I'm pasting in the title. Related. Okay, so you remember how I did that previously? This time I want related to be the header 3. So now we have something that looks pretty nice. And sure, I could go header 4, I could go 5 and 6, and we see that they're kind of all the same size at that point. This is 2. This takes us back to header 1, which is the title. But I think 3 is kind of a nice subheader in this position. The matrix we didn't put in. So you can see how fast you can start to format your text. Now remember, you don't want to stay focused on this, but it doesn't hurt. Viktor Frankl, I might add, what's a perfect tag for a person? It'd be the people tag. So I'm coming back through these notes. I'm trying to make them pretty. Here I might put in movie. I would. This, I'm going to put in PKM. Do you need to put these tags? Not necessarily, but you see how easy it is as you're going in and out of your personal knowledge management library. You can simply add a couple things here and there and just incrementally improve your ideas. And the beauty that we'll touch on later is that when you get these touches, what you're really doing is you're getting reps, you're getting repetitions, and every rep that you get does something up here. It allows those neurons to connect a little bit easier, a little bit more efficiently, and that's what allows us to remember and recall even better. So yeah, we just go through and we kind of improve the notes as we go. What's note star? For the sake of it, we'll just say that note star is under the people tag. And now that I have a few, I can click this one and see that we have Nevernote, Note Star, and Viktor Frankl. So that's another way that we can kind of use those weak relationship builders, tags, to our benefit. Now this is one list, and finally we're going to change these up, which is a tiny bit of formatting, but you can see that this is an auto numbering list as well. So this is another form of the same thing. And here we have it. The 6 most important keys to typing in Markdown. The final note I want to make on this that's really important is there's no formatting bar at the top. Why is that? It's because for text that we create, the most important thing is the idea that we have, that we want to get on page, that we can externalize, that we can articulate, that we can put into a place that we can then return to and grow. So formatting is out of the way and we can focus on the most important value creating activity, which is actually thinking, writing out those ideas, and expanding those thoughts. I hope you found this video useful. See, Markdown really isn't that intimidating. If you have these 6 keys at your disposal, you'll be off to the races and writing fast and efficiently, just like your mind works. So if you like this video, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe below. Next in line, we're going to look at the settings for Obsidian. Again, this is for the basics. So if you're already advanced, maybe this isn't for you, but if you're starting out, these are the basic settings that you need to be up and running full speed ahead with the app Obsidian. Again, if you like this video, please subscribe, comment down below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.